I'm Brittney Saunders, and welcome to Big Business, the place where business is far from boring. And today I'm recording on Gadigal land. Now, I somehow managed to build an empire from the garage underneath my house, and I'm here to share it all with you, from the wins, the losses, the huge mistakes, and the funny moments in between. So whether you're in business, not in the game at all, you're looking for some inspiration, or you simply just want to hear the tea, this is the podcast for you. Coming up on today's episode, I'm going to be chatting with one of my great friends, Tara McKeon. She is the founder of Proud Poppy Clothing, which is an inclusive fashion label that stocks sizes 6 through to 32. She's giving me a run for my money with that size range, let me tell you. Proud Poppy Clothing launched in 2019 from a tub of clothes in Tara's hallway and has since grown into a multiple award-winning brand with a global e-commerce presence and brick and mortar stores in Queensland and Victoria. Before venturing into the fashion industry, Tara worked as an emergency nurse with a postgraduate degree in critical care. Her career has been diverse, including roles such as a Smirnoff promo girl, selling raffle tickets at the MCG, and handing out yogurt samples at Woolies. She's a proud mum of 2 busy kids. She truly has done it all. Tara is passionate about community and is dedicated to empowering women around the world to live their best lives unapologetically as themselves. Tara, welcome to Big Business.
Thank you. So good to be here.
Are you excited?
So excited.
You've flown all the way from the Gold Coast.
Oh my gosh, I know.
Just for me.
Just for you.
I should have brought you a gift.
You bought me coffee.
I did. I did. Now, before we get anyone on, I always like to send our guests a bit of a questionnaire. Now, because we're friends, I didn't send you my full questionnaire.
Yeah.
But when guests come on my podcast, I want to talk with them about just real shit.
Love it.
I don't want this to be a podcast that's like, oh, business is just so great and amazing and everything's butterflies and rainbows. So I remember texting you. I can't remember exactly what I said, but I said something along the lines of, do you have any like massive fuck ups that you've made in your business journey so far? And your response was just priceless.
I think I said something like, how many do you want?
No, you said how much time
do we have?
Oh, man. Which is so true because I think thanks to social media, business can look like fun, amazing.
100%.
But it's just not the reality. And what's crazy is even though all of us are on our own business journey, we do go through a lot of similar things. Yeah. And especially for you and I, where we're in fashion, I feel like even more so the things that we experience.
No one talks about it.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about all the fucked up things that you have done.
Perfect.
You're going to really be...
I'm going to be so good at this.
Oh, okay. So when I did ask you for a list of things that we could chat about, one of the big ones that stood out to me was taking out loans within your business. And in particular, I think you mentioned a Shopify loan.
Yeah, Shopify Capital is a big one, I think, at the minute, especially for e-com brands.
For anyone that's listening and maybe doesn't know what Shopify Capital is or how it works, do you want to give them a little rundown?
Yeah, so Shopify Capital is something that's offered. I don't think it's offered to everyone. I think you have to qualify, and the way that I think that they get you to qualify is they see if you're an e-commerce brand and all your sales go through Shopify, they can see the rhythm of your sales, they can see the trends, they know how many sales you're putting through. So then they offer you capital. So it's a click of the button. It can be up to, $1.8, $2 million, and you don't have to jump through any hoops like a bank would make you do. They base it strictly off the amount of sales that you have coming through, and, you just click, and then it's in your bank.
And it's that easy.
It's so fucked.
And the funny thing is, I haven't heard about or seen Shopify Capital. And for those of you that don't know what Shopify is, it's the platform that we use for our websites, which is an amazing platform,
and most people are using it now too.
Like we love Shopify.
We love Shopify.
But they're dangerous when it comes to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I think for me, it was only last year or maybe even this year that I started getting on my Shopify and in my inbox, it's quite literally invitations to get Shopify
Hey, do you want $1 million?
Yes. And so I'll get an email and it's like, hey, you can be part of Shopify Capital. Get up to $1.4 million. Click here. And then when I open my Shopify dashboard, like every day I jump in,
there.
it's right there, like a huge fat banner with like cash pictures all over it. And they make it look very enticing.
Yeah.
And I can imagine, especially if you're a business where maybe you're going through a little bit of a financial struggle, or you'd like some more money to invest into your business to grow it.
Which we all would.
Yeah.
Like, we all would.
You would like some free money.
Why not?
Yeah. They make it very accessible, and in my opinion, it's very dangerous. Like, I know when I log into my Shopify, I click the little X in the top, and then I think you can click like, I don't want to see this for another 30 days. So that's what I've been doing.
Click.
Go away. But in your instance,
I freaking clicked.
You did it.
I clicked.
When was this?
So we had a situation at the end of last year where we ended up having shortage in stock. So our stock didn't come through, and you would know, being in fashion, that, you know, having that massive end of year is kind of sets you up for the beginning of the next year.
Absolutely.
It helps your cash flow. So we had a real dint in that and a drop in that. So I went into panic mode. We reached out to banks, but Proud Poppy's a newer brand to what you have, and we've only been around just coming up to 5 years now. So banks really want to see, you know, the history. They want 4 to 5 years worth of history, which we just didn't have. So not everyone, like I think Commonwealth came to us and said, you know, your sales are amazing. The growth should be you should be so proud of what you've done, but come back and see us in September.
Especially because when your business is new, even though you've been around for nearly 5 years, especially those first couple of years, like I always say, it's like the trial period 100%. Of your business. Like, you can't really use that as stats.
No.
Because that's when you're just figuring it all out.
Well, don't forget we had COVID as well in between. So there's really like 2 years of complete write-off.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot of brands that started that were COVID babies that have had this massive growth and don't really know how to tackle that moving forward. We had this situation where we had not enough stock coming through to be able to meet the sales that we needed to achieve. So I needed to find capital from somewhere else.
Yeah.
We reached out to the banks. The bank said no, and there it was on the Shopify dashboard. Do you want $1 million?
And you were like, okay.
Fucking yes, I want $1 million.
And how easy was it, like, when you did click through that? Like, did you have to fill out any information?
I'm sure you did, but at the time, I think, like, looking back, there's definitely things that I would do differently, because at the time, you know, you're trying to, what you think is protect your business. You're trying to keep all your staff in jobs and look after people, but you're really not protecting your business. And you're not thinking about your business. You're thinking about everything else but your business.
Absolutely.
So, you know, there were forms like very minor, like sign here, read this, scroll to the bottom, tick the box.
An online form, which again makes it so easy to just sign up to something rather than going through a bank and having to do all the physical
100%.
paperwork.
Yeah.
Wow. And so from what I've read, because I've looked at the Shopify Capital
Stop
thing.
looking.
I'm not looking to bloody sign up, but I'm curious.
Yeah,
you know?
right.
From what I've read, just on the banners and in those emails and stuff. So just say like you borrow, it's obviously not free money. You're going to have to pay it back.
100%, yeah. And it's crazy.
And the way that Shopify Capital works is because you're getting this money through this system that you're using, they then deduct what you owe them through your daily sales.
Every day.
Every day they're pulling money out.
Yeah, every day.
So then the other thing is as well, like obviously just say if you borrow 1.5 million from them, you're not going to pay back 1.5 million. Do you know like what kind of interest they were charging you?
So they do something where they give you an amount at the start, which is your interest overall.
And do they just dump the money into your bank account?
Done. Just like your daily Shopify payout.
That's
in
insane.
Your bank account.
So they just put that, like, can you say how much you've got off them?
$1.5 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you just have 1.5 straight into your bank account.
Yep.
That's insane.
Wild.
Did you feel like rich for a second?
For about a minute till I spent it.
Yeah, so you got the money.
Yeah.
And then what was the plan? Like, what were you going to do with it?
The plan was just to help bridge with some stock. So stock that we'd planned in with suppliers that we had really good terms with, that stock hadn't come through. So I needed to find something else, but I needed to pay for all of our stock up front.
Right.
So there was no, you know, how you can get 30 days, 90 days, whatever your payment terms are. It was pay up front.
Right.
So I needed to come up with enough money to be able to get us through the season up front, which we didn't have, but I needed to find it somewhere. Otherwise, I would have had to really scale the business back at what should have been a really pivotal moment in our business, and it should have been the biggest season we had.
Yeah,
so it was really shit. It was really stressful. I didn't want to let anyone go. I didn't want to make any of my staff redundant. I didn't want to do anything. But, I have a really great brand. I still have a great brand. But at that time, it was something that I'd never encountered before. Like this, what do you mean there's no stock? I remember sitting in the meeting with somebody and finally realising this person that was meant to help me bring the stock in, that it wasn't even on in production. So when someone says stock is coming to me, it's on the fucking boat. It's coming. Yeah. It's at least getting made.
But this wasn't even getting made at all.
No. And we were in September. So, yeah.
Shit.
Yeah.
And so when you got the loan and they put all the money into your bank account, is it then immediately that you will start paying them back? Like from the moment Shopify gives you the money?
I think you get a grace period, but it's not very long. It's a couple of days maybe.
And so every day how do they calculate what they're taking back?
So you agree on a percentage at the start. There's little to no negotiation.
Right.
So our percentage was 17%. So 17% of your daily sales.
Which is huge for a business. 17% of your daily sales just out the door.
Gone.
Wow.
Yeah. So 17% every day taken out. Yeah, so it was a killer, but you don't really think about that at the time. You're like, okay, how am I going to get this stock? Let's deal with this problem. But all it does is fix one problem. And then until that loan's gone, you're just selling to sell.
Yeah, wow.
With no profit.
That's crazy.
Wild. There's so many businesses out there, great brands, really big brands that I know that have either got this and they're about to go under. It's so prevalent out there in the industry, but no one talks about it.
No.
I'm really lucky that I'm in quite a few little circles where, we can collaborate and share information. I feel like you and I are very similar like that, where it's not so much.
I love when I get my nightly text from you and you're blowing up about something and I'm just tell me all about it.
Well, it's really nice to have people that you can collaborate with and share and be it can be really lonely running a business, but I guess through speaking to these brands, I've seen people founders just break down because they've got these amazing brands and they've taken this out to really take their business to the next level, and all it has done is destroy them.
And I think that's one of the scariest things about being in business is you can have this really successful business, you've got lots of customers, you've got lots of orders or clients, whatever the business may be, but you're always just one wrong decision away from fucking up the whole thing.
Thanks for reminding me.
No. But that's one of the scary things for me. I'm not saying for you.
No, yeah, I get it.
I'm not having to dig at you.
No,
but
I
any
get
of
it.
us.
It's
even
so
if
true.
things are going so great and you've got thousands of customers, you as the owner or any of us owners can just make one choice that we might think.
You've got so much responsibility.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can make one decision that can essentially change everything.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which, clickety click click, that's what I did.
What has been your biggest lesson out of taking out that loan with Shopify?
I think at the time, what I was trying to do was protect my team, protect the jobs, protect the business, continue to scale. If I had my time again and I was put in that same position, I would just have to make those really difficult decisions, have those hard conversations and scale back. It was a lesson that I learned from trusting someone that I probably shouldn't have trusted, but there gets to a point where you have to trust someone.
Yes.
You can't do it on your own forever.
No. And that's what another scary thing about business is putting that trust into people that are going to help you run your business.
Well, I'm never fucking trusting anyone again. Yes.
Hard conversations, easy life.
Yeah.
So if you could do it all again, you would have scaled back the business instead.
Well, a lot of the people that I was trying to look after are not with me anymore because they can go get another job. They can move on. Their life changes. This is it for me. This is I'm all in. This is my passion. This is my business. This is my baby. So I need to protect the business.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
And for those listening that maybe haven't heard of you, do you want to give us a brief little overhaul of Proud Poppy and why you started it and how it all came to be?
Proud Poppy was a brand that I started in 2019, so not that long ago really at all. I am an ex-emergency nurse, so I've cared for lots of people that have come through the doors, all different shapes, sizes, backgrounds, abilities. And one thing that, really stood out for me was there's so many different people out there that are going through so many different things that cause their bodies to change, whether it's, you're having a baby or whether you're training for the marathon, it goes both ways. And everyone just wants to feel good, even on your darkest days. Mm-hmm. But there's so many people out there that aren't represented. Or, there's brands that stock sizes but only online and not in store. So they want them to shop online secretly, but don't be seen in our store, and it just irked me. So I used to be 140 kilos. I think I was up to about a size 24. And I ended up going on maternity leave. I lost some weight after my baby, and I didn't really want to go back to nursing, but I wanted to do something that would help women in another way. And I used to sit at this little cafe in my hometown, and I used to watch people go into this little store, women, they'd go in, they'd go out. I was a size 24, I couldn't shop there. And I'd watch all women come in and go out with a bag, all different sizes, but just no plus size gals. And I would say to my husband, God, I wish I could shop in that store. And he would say, one day. And then one day I got down, I think, to a size 18, and I managed to go into the store and I found one dress that fit. And it was like a huge moment because I'd sat across the road at the bar and the restaurant eating 3 entrees and just watching all these women shop. And I ended up going in and I found one dress. It was horrible. It was loose, but I bought it because it fit. And I remember thinking, how good's this? I can finally shop here. And then I went home and I was like, I've watched people come in and out. How come me as like a size 18, 20 could find one dress? Like, why was there only one option for me? And so I got really mad and I said to my husband, I think I can do a better job of this because there's so many women, like I'd lost a lot of weight. I wasn't even at my largest, but there still wasn't any options for me. So I wanted to create a space where, whether you were a size 6 or a size 26, you could come in store and have a beautiful shopping experience. You could shop online, just have a beautiful space for everybody to feel welcomed and represented. Very similar to your story, like not the story, but very similar values, I think.
Yeah, you my competitor. I'm kidding. I love that pitch of Proud Poppy. You didn't stutter once just then.
I've said it a couple of times, Dale, but I think
great.
It's definitely a passion of mine. I didn't start Proud Poppy to be a massive business, and I think that's where a bit of my downfall is too, because I don't know how to manage a business. I'm learning on the run. I'm an ex-nurse. I started from a tub of clothes in my hallway, and now it's just gone astronomical over a few years. So I'm going to fuck up along the way. I'm going to make mistakes because you only know what you know.
Yeah, we're going to fuck up forever, I think.
Forever.
And I always say on my podcast here, I think the bigger we get, the more fuck-ups we're going to make.
100%.
Because we're dealing with things every day that is just new, and we're experiencing this for the first time ourselves as well.
Everything's new to me.
Yeah, me too. But I think that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And I
say they're not mistakes, they're lessons, right? Because
exactly
you'll never do the
right.
same thing again.
You're saying all the stuff that I say on this podcast all the time.
Because I listen.
Great. Yeah, this is great.
I take notes.
Oh, I love it. Well, I love the story of Proud Poppy, and I think even though you and I are essentially, we're not competitive.
I don't think so.
I don't see.
But I also think, I've always said that the more women or people that we can get out there who are confident, and we say we don't sell dresses, we sell confidence, we sell a feeling. So the more people that we can get out there living their best lives and just not giving a shit about what other people think, that's going to be better for everyone because they're going to want to come and shop. They're going to want to be a part of our community. So, the more you inspire people and the more confidence you give people, the better it is for me in the long run.
Exactly right. And I don't see any fashion brand as a competitor of ours because I just think more power to women, the better. And that's why I have loved connecting with you.
We do love a wine. Also helps.
We do love a wine. And Tara, you do a lot of pop-up shops.
Yeah.
Maybe we can keep that for another episode, all about pop-up shops.
Yeah.
Because I know nothing about pop-up shops and our community's always asking us.
I definitely think you should do a pop-up shop.
Really?
Yeah.
It seems like a whole lot of fucking work.
It really is.
You have a truck, right?
Yeah.
You have a whole, semi-trailer truck.
Well, no.
A mini one.
I can drive it.
Okay.
I'm not a truck driver.
Yeah.
But it's a truck, yeah.
You literally truck your shit to different states.
Yeah.
Fuck.
We're going to Cairns this weekend.
Cairns?
Yep.
Are you driving there?
No.
Oh. You're getting someone else to drive the truck.
We're going to ship the stuff to Cairns.
Oh, yeah. Smart.
Yeah.
That'd be a big drive.
Yeah.
It's really hot up there, I've heard.
Yeah, it's going to be lovely.
Yeah, I bet, compared to foggy Sydney today. But I have loved being able to connect with you. And I remember you posted, because I follow your account and the Proud Poppy account, and you posted like a little graphic and you were like, Proud Poppy is coming to Newcastle. And then I DM'd it to you straight away. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
And it was really near your shop.
It was like across
and I didn't
the street.
know. And I was like, oh,
across
this looks
the street.
bad.
And I messaged you, I was like, oh my God, this is epic. And you're like, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, I had no idea. And I'm like, Tara, why are you sorry? I said, this is great. And I saw that as an opportunity for both of us to come together and collaborate. So then I came up with this idea for us to do a skit as an Instagram reel. And when was this? When was it that you came down?
God. I don't know. I've still got the scars on my knee from when I fell over in the street going to outdo.
So we got together and we made this reel, which you can still find on both of our Instagram.
Should definitely watch it. We're pretty funny.
It is good. And so the whole skit is, it's me in my shop and then my phone dings. And then I'm like, oh, Proud Poppy's coming to Newcastle. And then I look a bit closer and then I realise that the address is across the street. And I'm like, those bitches. And then I storm across the road. Like, it's a whole video thing. And I walk into Tara's pop-up shop and she's there like awkwardly waving. And it's this like awkward moment. But then we come together and we spin each other around and we're skipping down the street. And then I'm in her store and you come to mine. And then it was just this like video about women supporting women in business.
I think that people just wouldn't expect us to be friends.
See, but I'm all for that. Like, even if you're two business owners in the same sort of industry, come together.
Yeah.
Like, with more people, there's more power.
100%.
And I would love more businesses that are even similar businesses to come together and support one another. Like how you say you're in all these exclusive groups. Like, I feel like I'm missing out. I know you've got all these...
Sound like a wank. No. But like in e-commerce, there's so many communities that, you know, you just have to get... You're in Newcastle, so you're very limited with what's around.
I'm in my own bubble.
You're in your own bubble. You are your own exclusive group. So, you know, and I think that I saw a quote that said, you know, collaboration happens at the top, which is something when you're confident in your brand, but also I guess when you're doing things, yes, we're running a business, but when you're really passionate about it, then you're more open to collaboration rather than competition.
Yes, and I love being connected with you and a few other women that are in similar businesses to us, and we share our ideas with each other. Yeah. The other day I was at work with one of my staff and I texted something to Marissa, who's from the Lullaby Club, which is another women's fashion brand, and Kim, who I was sitting with at the time, she's like, I love that you two are messaging each other things like to help one another with your businesses. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm like, I'm all for that. I think we should see more of that in our industry and in all industries. Because what's the point of just like being out there doing your own thing when you could be connected?
It's lonely.
Yeah.
It's really lonely.
It's great to catch up over a wine and talk shit.
Definitely.
Before we came into the studio, we sat outside with our ice. We didn't sit outside. We sat inside because it's freezing with our ice lattes. Because I love that. I'm an iced drink person all year round. Even if it's
fresher.
Freezing. Yeah.
Have you had a matcha?
Yes.
Are you on the matcha? I don't even know how to say that.
I love. But I've only had a matcha at my cafe and I know it's good. I've never tried one outside.
I've only ever had one and I'm like, yeah, I drink matcha.
I feel like it's a very big trend at the moment, isn't it? But when we were outside, we were chatting and you were talking about how you feel like you don't have enough time to do anything.
Live.
Yeah. To live and to do all the things that you want to do, and you've got all this shit going on, but you just want to focus on growing the business. And I think I can definitely relate to that, as well as probably all of our business owner and entrepreneur listeners, is that you just always have that feeling of not being able to do anything that you want to get to.
Your to-do list is never done, is it?
No. What's the point of even having a to-do list?
I don't know, just to roll it over to the next day.
I'm just going to move those to the next day and the next day and the next day. Yeah. But one thing that I guess fascinates me and something that I haven't experienced that I'd love to hear your experience on is how do you juggle doing everything that you do, running your business, having all these staff, all these pop-up shops going all around the country, and you also are a mum of 2.
Yes. I have the children.
Yeah.
I have the children.
Did you have your kids once Proud Poppy had started or before?
So I had Brody. So my son is 6. He was little.
Yeah.
And then Charlie was
During.
Yeah.
How did you find that?
At the start with Brody, well, it kind of was, we were in COVID and lockdown, so it was very, very different. But with Charlie, Charlie's 2 and a bit, I was booked in for an induction, so where they make the baby come, for those listening, and Brittney.
Teach me everything.
And I was booked in for an induction, so the day, and that was, say, the Wednesday. The day before, I was back-to-back with meetings. I'm like, I'm going to get my shit done.
So you worked right up until the day before?
Yeah, and then the baby came a day early, didn't she?
Of course, yeah.
So
rude.
So
inconsiderate.
rude.
She
just
knew
really
that you had
didn't
shit
vibe
on that
with
day.
my plans. Luckily, she came really fast. So then I was literally on Zoom calls in the birthing suite, and the midwives would come in, and I was like, I'm just in a meeting. And I think they just thought I was like kidding, but I was like, I'm actually on a call. Like the baby was out, but there was still
She's just chilling next to you and you're on a call straight away.
Yeah, because I was booked, doll. I had a lot going on.
You are hustling.
It was wild. So anyway, I wanted to get through because I really wanted to try and have 2 weeks off with my new one.
Just 2.
Yeah, but I didn't. I ended up.
Oh my
I think
God.
I ended up going into the office on the way home.
Stop.
Which, yeah, it was a lot. So I've always been really busy. It was definitely harder with Charlie than what it was with Brody, just because of the growth and the expansion the business had seen. And I really wanted to be like more present, because I definitely have regrets from when Brody was little, like really little, about not being as present, because that was when, I was doing all the product uploads. I was driving into the city because I didn't want to pay $25 for my box of freight to be delivered to me. So I'd drive in to get it to save.
Isn't it funny, like when you're starting out a business, like that example that you just gave, the things that you eventually learn that it's better to just pay for, so
your
that
time.
you can spend your time on other things.
Yeah, if you can. But I think at the time, like, I didn't have that money, so everything went back in.
Yeah.
But definitely now, like, I always look at outsourcing what I'm not good at, especially, or what's going to take me heaps of time, because it's not a good use of my time. You really have to manage your time.
Yeah, and how do you manage that?
Not well.
I'm wanting some advice here.
Not well. I have a to-do list and another to-do list.
And then you have a to-do list for your kids.
For the to-do list, yes. Yeah.
Because I feel like I obviously know nothing about being a mum, but like I can only imagine that being a mum is a full-time job and a half and more in itself.
I'm really lucky. Like, my mum helps with the kids, so I don't have anything against nannies, but I think that it was my regrets of not being as present with Brody, like not as hands-on. Like, he'd still, when I say that, he was in the office sleeping in porter cribs and stuff with me, but it's just that mum guilt. Mums will know it's mum guilt. And I think, even when I was emergency nursing, if I got a night shift on Christmas, I wouldn't be at Christmas. I would miss birthdays, but it's because I feel like I'm choosing this life, when nursing was like, this is your roster, this is what you have to do. So no one ever questioned it. When now I'm like, well, I'm actually choosing this, which is just not right, but it's just a mental thing.
Yeah.
So my mum actually helps as our nanny,
Yep.
but the kids just think it's grandma.
But she's actually a nanny.
Yeah. So Monday to Friday she helps in the morning till we get home from work. Like, my son's at school and Charlie goes to daycare a few days, but she just helps keep things, my shit together a little bit.
Do you feel like you could do it all if you didn't have the help of your mum?
I could, but Charlie would be in full-time care as well, and I love her daycare, and I've got nothing against that. Like, Brody was in full-time care, but I just didn't want to do that this time around. I definitely still think it's hard. Like, if they're unwell, sometimes I can't stay home with them, and all I want to do is cuddle up with them on the couch, or, if I've got a call, or if I have to go to Cairns, or, pop-up shop, because I don't have the staff and we've committed to it. that's really hard.
Because you go to all of your pop-up shops, right? Like you're there.
Yeah, I have
most of them.
Most of them.
Yeah.
I probably will have to step back from doing that a little bit, but I love getting out there and meeting the community. So I don't want to lose that aspect. But because I do so much in the business, if I go to a pop-up shop Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I lose 4 days because I work on the weekends.
I feel you.
And
that's a hard thing.
I'm still catching up from a month ago when we were in Adelaide.
I'm still recovering from Boxing Day last year. Let me tell you, I'm still trying to get over that. I think that's one of the hard things when you are a business owner as well, is learning that you do need to step away from certain things. And not that I have mum guilt or anything like that, but I think I get like business owner guilt.
Yeah, it's all relative,
When we open new stores, I'm always there for the opening, but I'm there for a couple of days or maybe a few days. And every store that we've opened, I've been there less and less and less. Like I be there for the time that I know I need to be, and then I know I need to go.
Yeah.
Whereas when we opened our second store in Sydney, I worked there for like 14 days straight because I was like, I need to be here. Like I can't just go home.
Yeah. But you want to be there too.
Yes, that's a really hard thing. It's like you want to be on the ground doing all the nitty-gritty things.
Yeah.
But then you've also got like to run the company.
Yeah. I know, the boring stuff.
Yeah.
The boring stuff that no one else can do, really.
Yes.
So as fun as it is to spend as much time in the stores and pop-ups, you've got to do the real shit.
Otherwise you're going home and getting on your
Otherwise
laptop
you're getting Shopify loans.
And you're having meetings in the birthing suite. What would be your advice? What would be your advice to anyone out there that, let's say, is a mum and they're starting up a business, or they're in business for a couple of years and they're trying to juggle it all and scale a business, but, be there as a mum, and what would be your overall advice to them?
The best piece of advice I've ever been given was from one of my old next door neighbours who had 5 kids.
Wow.
And I was just like, how the hell do you do it? Like, I'm about to have another one. I can't even manage one. Now I'm going to have another one. And the best thing she ever said to me, and at the time I was like, that's so weird, but it resonates, was lower your standards. So, and
you what?
Yeah, I was like, okay, weird, but whatever. But I love her. I love her. If she ever listens to this, I love her. And she knows exactly what I mean. But, you as a mum, especially if you're a first-time mum, like I'm definitely more relaxed as a second time round, but you just have this, you put such a high amount of pressure on everything being perfect and having all your ducks in a row and, doing everything to 100%. And all you're going to do is stretch yourself. So you really just need to prioritise what's actually important. Time block your time, even if that means, like, I know this sounds terrible, but time block the time that you're going to spend with your kids so that you're present. There's no point having time with them and being on your phone or being on emails because it's not actually quality time.
Yeah.
So block out that time. So when you get home, 5 o'clock, whatever time it is, phones away until they're in bed, and then you can really be present, because if you're going to try and do work and you're trying to be present and be with them and do all this stuff, you're not going to be a good mum and you're not going to get shit done with your work either.
It's just going to not be right anywhere.
So you might as well block your time. So lower your standards. Don't try and do everything at once. Don't try and keep all the balls in the air because something's going to fall. And chances are it'll probably be you, which is something that you want to try to prevent because you need to be a happy mum.
You've got to put yourself first.
You do have to put yourself first, and it's not selfish, because if you don't look after yourself, then you can't run the business and you can't keep the children alive.
I love that advice.
See, it's actually good advice.
It
At
really
first you
is.
thought, that's weird.
Lower your standards, everyone.
Lower your standards. Stop trying to be
We can't have high
everything
standards.
to everyone all the time. And just
Absolutely.
do the bloody best you can.
I love that.
Thanks.
This has been so good to have you on.
Thanks for having me. It's been so fun.
You've been an absolute natural.
Oh,
I feel.
thanks.
This has been your episode.
The blonde bobs.
It is. Everyone needs to lower their standards and get a bob.
Power bobs.
Power bobs. My overall takeaway from my episode with you today has been, don't get a loan. What would be your advice around that? If you could give anyone some last... We always end Big Business with a tip of the week, but maybe we can make it about taking out loans.
Right.
What would be your advice when it does come to businesses and being tempted to take out a loan?
I think that there's no room for ego in business. You need to leave your ego at the door. So the reason that I took out the loan was because I didn't want to admit that I'd fucked up and I'd made this big mistake and we were going to have to scale back. If I had my time again, I'd scale right back, pull in, stay strong, build that foundation back up again and go again. I've got the brand to be able to do that, but my ego took over.
Very interesting.
Yeah. No one wants to admit that they've made a mistake, you know, and especially in modern day business, which I just wish there was more people that spoke about it. No one wants to admit that they've failed, but so many of us have done it at one stage or another. It happens all the time. So leave your ego at the door.
Mine's outside.
Good.
Oh, this has been so good chatting with you, Tara. You've been an absolute natural, and I couldn't be more grateful that you have quite literally flown from the Gold Coast to come and be on Big Business.
What else would I be doing?
Oh, the 110 things on your to-do list.
True.
Surely you're going to make some good use of your time in Sydney,
I've got a bit to do, yeah.
You're going to go somewhere else after this.
I am, yep. I'm going to go get a mani-pedi.
Nice. There's actually just a place around the corner that I've been one day. It was actually pretty good.
Check it out.
Not going to lie.
Thanks for having me.
Where can everyone find you before we head off?
At the Panny around the corner. Panny.
Everyone can find her
I'll
at
be
the
there.
Mani-Pedi place around the corner
That's
in
where
Pyrmont.
I'll be. So you can shop with us at proudpoppyclothing.com.au. We also have a store in Doreen in Victoria, Robina Town Central in Queensland, and opening soon in Toowoomba in Queensland.
How exciting. And you have a personal account too if anyone wants to follow that.
Oh, it's just Tara McKeon. Tara_McKeon_, I think.
I love that.
I'm not as good at that stuff as you.
But you post. I like what you post. I love that you just keep it absolutely real. I feel like what you see is what you get with you on Proud Poppy and on your personal account.
Yeah.
I feel like we're very similar in a lot of ways.
We are very similar, and I think that's why we get along.
Because we're bogans.
Yeah.
Thanks, Tara.
No worries.